Hey YouTube, welcome to King's Court. As promised, I'm going to do some recording, but like I said, I'm going to try to do different games. Today is actually like a noob's guide to League of Legends. So I am by no means an expert. I'm not even ranked. I have a bunch of buddies who are really into League of Legends, so I went ahead and started playing League of Legends just to try to get a grip to it. And what I found was if you try to get guides from those who have played for like a very long time, it seems like there's a lot of assumptions into the knowledge factor of MOBAs and having it in a principle that they don't really explain things in a way that's very useful to the new player. So for that, like I said, this is Noob's kind of guide. This is the aspect that you've never really played a MOBA. Maybe you've heard of a MOBA. Maybe you watched some videos of a MOBA, but you just don't know anything really to it. So with that said, and again, this would be particular to League of Legends. So here I have League of Legends. I'm already logged in, and then this is typically what you'll see. You'll see your home screen. You'll see that you have friends. Then you can go into like your profile, which would say like, you know, hey, which is they'll have a picture back here that actually shows, you know, who you've been playing a lot lately. I think it actually resets every week. Then it'll tell you like your top three that you've been playing and gotten mastery points with. And you'll see like you can highlight it and it'll tell you like what's your best grade. Just so you know, like I am not actually sure if there's an F grade. I've seen a D grade. But I do know the highest you can get, I believe, is S or S plus, one of the two. So like even an S minus is really good. And just so you know, like those kind of rankings, it's based on your performance overall to the match. Honor ranking, that's just based on, you know, if people honor you after a match. You'll see here it's talking about, you know, 4 ranks. I have 1 game out of 10 for the flex provisional to say how well I can do. Then you have match history, which, like I said, I'm a noob. You'll see there's a lot of defeats. I've not been having a lot of luck lately. And you'll see like it's C, C minus, D minus, B minus, C minus. Just so you know, like when you have bad games, it's hard to even get really high rankings. But even like on my good ones, like you'll see I got a B and B minus, nothing really too crazy. Then you have like ranked, which this is if you're ranked, which I don't really know anything about, to be honest. Clubs, if you're inside a club, which I think is kind of like clans. Highlights you can actually record after a match. And then you go into collections. Now this is one of the places you'll probably spend a lot of time in. So really quick, there's a lot of stuff from, you know, old school that's changed over time. So the key thing to know is like your champions, like which you can click on any one of these, and they'll tell you kind of like what the pro of the person. It'll explain to you the abilities that they have. It'll even have a video demonstration to show you like how those abilities work. I mean, you can click on each one, right? So Rise, see, like right there, they're showing, hey, he brings a person, he starts auto attacking. See, you have to hit the X to go back, and you'll see like these are all the different heroes, which there are a lot of heroes when it comes to League, or I'm sorry, they call it champions in this. So there's a lot of champions. You can sort by mastery, right? You can sort by recently played, or go alphabetical. You can even filter down by what type of role you're looking for. You know, if it's only like I'm looking only at my own. Let's see. So then they have skins. So each hero will have different types of skins. So this just shows the skins that I have unlocked. They released emotes recently. Oh, actually I have new emotes. I didn't even notice that. Boom. Let's start with the angry kitten. Maybe that's where my bad luck's coming from. Alright, and then this one is actually the particular part that's going to be really important. So when you start out, there are certain runes, rune sets that are already set for you. So you'll see I have like a Nasus test. I marked my test ones. It's the ones that I'm testing out. The rest of these are actual presets. That's just what they came with. So you'll see here we have Inspiration, the Timeless, that are Sorcery, the Calamity, Precision, Perfect. Dominator, the Executioner, and Resolve, the Colossus. So pretty much Resolve is typically used to tanks. Domination is used for high damage dealers. Those that need to be really quick use the Precision. So typically like Archer types will be using this. Sorcery, this is your magic users. Inspiration is something that can be used for support, but I see like there's a lot of cases where support will use Sorcery, the Calamity, over Timeless, but then the Timeless is also still pretty good. So for each of these though, you can click into it and it'll actually explain to you what it is that they do. So like the Unsealed Spell Book, right? And it has the full description here. I won't read through all of it. But this is just the highlight of like how to go through and see like what it is that it's giving you. And then if you go back by hitting the X, so like for example this one, you'll see that it has Sorcery and Domination, which Domination is supposed to be attack type, damage type, and then the same thing goes with Sorcery. So you see with this one, if you collect eyeballs of the champion and ward takedowns, gain permanent AD or AP. So this is just stuff to bring in more damage. And then you'll see like it's got the same thing on this side, right? And you have the Arcane Comet, which tosses like a smaller spell towards the person on every ability that actually hurts, or hits them, I should say. Then you have the spells. So this is a way to like read about what are the summoner spells that you can get. You'll see Summoner level 1, right? So then they got Heal, Barrier, Exhaust. Some key things to note. Heal is nice typically if you're doing support to be able to heal, and then it also increases the speed of the two people. Exhaust is typically used as support to help with engagements on high damagers. It's like you'll see in here that Lucian's actually a high damager, and what it does is actually slows them down, but the key part there is it also reduces the amount of damage that they deal. So that helps in your engagements like in the bottom lane, which I'll get to that to like go through and explain. Mark, or otherwise referred to as Snowball, is an interesting one for like tanks to help get into combat. One, it slows down, I guess it doesn't slow down anymore. So it hits the target, marks them, and then allows you to teleport to them. Or kind of like, yeah, it's like a teleport. Flash is really nice because the idea is you flash forward like you just saw there. In certain engagements when people are trying to chase you down, that does help real quick. And Ignite is also another one that like a lot of damage dealers will do. You'll see there the daggers with that. It means it's got grievous wounds, which means any kind of healing that they're getting. So if you know that you're going to be particularly against someone who has like a lot of either health steal or has ways to heal themselves, grievous wounds is awesome to look for. Smite is when you're in a jungle. So you see here, Smite allows you to cast it on a monster. You also heal. Yeah, it restores health based on your maximum life when used against monsters. So it's very useful for jungle. Same thing like if you're going to go engage dragon and stuff like that. But just bear in mind, like it starts out at 390 damage, and late game it's 1,000 true damage. Teleport is usually used by top. Because they have the longest way to get back to the tower, so it allows them to teleport to the tower. It's also interesting to be used in top. If you are pushed your top lane, you can actually use it to get to like bottom lane real quick to help gank on that lane. I mean, you'd probably want to go to like a farther back one and go that way. Items, this is where you would make like your own kind of custom sets, so that way it shows up in your stuff. I've not been very good about this, but it's definitely very useful to go through and make your own item sets, and then kind of say like which champions it's focused towards to help make it easier for you to quickly go through and pick out the items that you're going to need. Now, the other big thing is your loot, right? So loot is very important. As you go through and gain levels, you'll gain certain loot, which would have been in here in materials, and then you would open it, and it gives you certain things. Like in this case, you'll see I have certain champion shards. When you click on the champion shard, it'll tell you if it's able to be activated. Bear in mind, disenchant, that means to actually break it down, and then it gives you your blue essence, which you'll see up in the top here. I have 2,000 blue essence, so that would be a way to add it. But if I wanted to add it. Now, red doesn't mean you don't have enough. That was one thing that it took me a while to understand. I kept thinking, oh man, I don't have enough. I just don't have enough. But that's not the case. Red is just to make sure that you take note. Oh, this is red, and it means you're going to lose that amount. Oh, and then if you're not sure, for whatever reason, you're just like, man, I really don't know if I want to play this one, you can activate a rental so that you have access to them for 7 days, but then you have to wait to get another shard to be able to upgrade to a permanent. The same thing goes with skins, so you see you get skin shards, and they're the same deal, but instead of them using blue essence, they use orange essence, which only comes from the shards themselves. So like for example, you see here I have this is actually a very rare one, I believe, is because that's what the orange thing means. It's like legendary or something. So I can disenchant for 650, but you'll see just to even make it permanent cost me 2,900. But if I did disenchant him, I can then get Earth the Nami T. And I don't really know who she is, to be honest. Or I can get like Karate Kennen. There you go. And the store, if you have riot points, right? So that you can buy champions. Champions also go on sale. So like you see, I hit on sale, and then here's certain champions that are on sale. If not on sale, that's the other thing to bear in mind. So like you can use your blue essence to buy certain ones. You'll see typically the newest ones are usually your very expensive ones, right? So like you'll see here I have 6,300, yeah, for all of these, and it's in that order. When you're first starting out, I wouldn't really do the release date. I would actually say, hey, look, I'm just looking to spend like the blue essence, right? We'll say blue essence going up, right? So that way here I have my lowest essence cost, and then you just start scrolling down, moving along for what you're looking for. I do know some people have mentioned, because you'll see the mystery champion. So what they say is like, if you're starting out, don't burn any of your riot points towards champions. Instead, use your blue essence to take care of all the lower ones. So basically you would just keep going through these until you get to probably like these 3150s, honestly. I think at that point, like, because you'll see here, they're typically 790, and if you had all the 30 or 1350s unlocked and you do a mystery champion, basically you have, the only chances that you have left is one of the 3150s or higher, right? So all of those, as you go through, it's like, okay, it's just more and more of those costs, so it makes it to where you're basically always buying at half off when it comes to these. Given again that is real money, I think it's like $50 will get you like 7,000 riot points or something like that. So like if you do get into the game and you are enjoying it and you do intend to play, I typically look at it as like if it's a game that I'm very well into and I played for maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, I typically do put at least $50 in, because that's typically the cost of a normal video game. And if I've spent that much time into it, it's already been worth its bang for its buck. Most games that you buy for like $50, even RPGs, you're only looking at like 40 hours, which could be within a week. You can knock that out. If you have a full-time job or even work overtime, I mean, obviously it would probably take like a month or two. But still the same principle, it's $50 for that amount of time spent. So, but I'm not recommending that. It is entirely up to whoever, however you want to spend your money. But that is one way that you can use your money if you do spend money. And from there, the next part I would get into, and I mean, you go through all of it, right? So they have the skins. So there's skins in here, same principle. Hex tech crafting. So you'll see here you can do certain bundles to get a bunch of these chests. Those chests typically have shards. You can do the snowdown capsules, which don't normally have like heroes or skins. Can also have blue essence in it. Oh, what else? You have emotes, which emotes are pretty new now. I'm not even sure how. Like, I know there's got to be ways to unlock them. I did get one out of one of my capsules, so at least there's that. So there is a chance, but I think it's relatively rare. I don't want to say it's like crazy rare, but it does seem to take a lot to get to it. Then let's see. Yes. So you'll notice, like, if I go home, there's nothing here. Now on the home page, you can actually see what's the free rotation. So they will unlock, and then those are playable for that time period. So then from there, like if you click on lobby, and I'm going to exit out of this so that way it doesn't show this. So when you click on that lobby, it'll actually bring this up. Starting out, there's the training, right? And you can go through these and they'll help explain parts of the game. You can do co-op versus AI, which you can do the 5 versus 5, Summoner's Rift. You can do the Twisted Tree Line to just see how those are. Just bear in mind when trying to learn, it's not bad. But it won't really help you learn how players are going to play and the things that they do to like juke you, how they like how to or how they come to like gank, you know, and certain identifiers of when they're going to cast certain things. And most of it's just playing against them to see what comes out as like typical. So like as you're playing, I would recommend actually keeping some of your recordings. Or like record, or and I'll show that portion later on. But the idea there is, at the end, there's going to be a like a download type button. You click on that, and it will actually allow you to save the match, and that way you can load it up later and kind of check, like look at, you know, what was the person typically doing, how often are they doing it, you know, do more people do that, and that gets you kind of more in the habit of it. So with that said, there's actually 4 modes within the PvP. So against the players, you have the Summoner's Rift, which is 5 versus 5. Now this is the pretty standard, and you'll see that there's blind pick, draft pick, ranked solo, and ranked flex. Blind pick means like it's typically like no one really cares. And with that said, people still do get mad, but it's not supposed to be like that. They should not be getting very upset. Draft pick is where you're actually picking out your role. So like the blind pick, everyone goes in there, kind of says, you know, hey, I'm looking for top, I'm looking for bottom, just trying to like learn the characters. So they should not be too angry when it comes to that. Draft pick though, they probably would get a little upset because this one you're gonna pick out a particular role. So like for example, if I were to go confirm here, you'll see here it wants me to pick out different roles. So fill means I'm just going to go into any role, and then you'll see that you have support, you have bottom, you have middle, jungle, and top. Now, with that said, the nice part is if you do pick like jungle or anything like that, I'll show you there's actually a way to filter to make sure that you see which heroes you have available, or I'm sorry, champions. Because that was one of the things that I did struggle with in the beginning, is I'm like, I have no idea who's who and what they do, or you know, what I'm supposed to do with them. So I'm like trying to learn. It's really tough to start out with like that. This one is by events, so the 4th one will only show up during a particular event. In this case, we have Legend of the Poro King, which is it's like a holiday type thing with poros, and a lot of it is like tossing poros around, and it's kind of funny. It's definitely worth trying out when the events are up. And also they typically have missions, which I've already cleared out most of them. I'm working on this one right now, which is the like be naughty or nice. So like mine actually does not have me going through that one. Now, starting out ARAM, so like you'll see here they show like this like 8 symbol. Here's the 3 lanes, right? And then this one you'll see it's just kind of like 1. So this one's actually 1 lane. This is actually 2 lane. This is 3 lanes. With that said, I would highly recommend if you're starting out that you actually pick an ARAM, and I'm going to show you why. So, like in an ARAM, it is random which hero you're going to get. So that's one thing to know about it. It is random, which does mean like you might even get the same one twice. You shouldn't really see that very often, so at least there's that. But in the event that you do get the same one multiple times, at least when you're starting out, that shouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. You can actually try out different combinations of items, because that's one of the bigger parts of the game, is knowing the items as well as your character. And then, of course, knowing your opponent. ARAM is the reason why it's nice to start out, is because rather than being focused solely on just you and your lane and having to compete against someone one-on-one, where they're going to be, typically they're probably experienced and know how to poke, in particular things that they're looking to do and navigate. So around the map, oh, that's actually lucky. So you'll see here, I got Garen. There is a reroll. You'll see that people are going to try to trade me right away because Garen's actually a lot of fun for this. Yeah, so you have rerolls. After so many fights, you'll gain more rerolls. You can only hold up to 2, which you can burn them all in one match. But if you can't, I would say it's probably worth just using what you got. As I said, Resolve is for like a tank. Garen is actually definitely a tank. He's also highly referenced as the spin to win. He's also a great tune to start out with if you are like playing ones where you can pick out who you're going to play. If you're trying to learn, he does not have. You don't have to manage his mana because he doesn't have any. He's more about just the cooldowns. So like you just have to deal with the cooldowns, and he's close combat, and he's able to do the spin where he can actually go through the bunch of targets. So you'll see here they do not tell you who you're going against. It's fully random, and you'll see all these people were randomly picked as well. You saw how Thresh actually was trying to swap with me, because you see these arrows. I can actually request to swap with them if I have the hero, or I'm sorry, champion. And then I'm hoping this actually records. I've never tried recording League of Legends because it's got the precursor screen and then the actual game screen. So I'm hoping this actually records all of it. And I am trying to work on the volume of the audio, making sure it's easier to hear me, and make sure I'm more clear. Currently my sinuses are acting up a little bit, so I might be a little muddled, but if you guys are having any trouble hearing me, or am I coming in too soft or anything like that, please leave some comments to let me know. Also let me know if you like these videos, you know, if these things are helpful, like even knowing it from a noob's perspective, or someone entirely new to this. Some games, I mean, I've played longer and I'll have more tips that are at different levels, but hopefully this stuff is definitely useful. And please feel free to leave a like, leave a dislike if you feel like it could be better, or maybe you just don't like it. That's perfectly fine too. It's just good to have some feedback so that I know how things are going. Oh, and one thing to note, like typically these load screens, they do take a while, because it's got to wait for everyone to sync up. So like you'll see everyone here is showing 100%, but this is 80%. This shows that this guy's got an honor ranking 5. That's what that symbol's for. This says like I've played Garen numerous times. This shows that this person played Zyra a lot more than I've played like Garen. And you'll see here now I can see the opponents that I'm against. I can see the abilities that they're running. I can even say what type of runes they're running. So the other part that's nice about this is that you actually get all of your skills to start out. So not all of them, because like one of them is at level 6. So I would normally recommend that you just do all 3 so that you have access to your ability. You'll see here in particular this match. I think I'm actually going to start with this. So like I actually have my own specific item list for Garen, but you should be starting with recommended. And recommended is pretty typical. That goes off of like what they're going to use. So it is good to go with what they're recommending. So you'll see like they have a Guardian's Horn, which in my case I chose to go the Aegis of Legion because that gives me better resistance. And that's the thing to know. So like in the bottom here on the left, you'll see that you have different like stat values. So this says like my attack, my armor, my magic resist, my AP, which is ability power. So this is why I think ARAM's a little better starting out. So you'll see like we're all 5 here. We're all just starting out. And apparently my friend is cursing me out. He's been gone all day too. But yeah, so you'll see like everyone's here. Oh, that was nice. So like for example right there, they were kind of fighting on the left side, so I just let them go and fight. So one thing to note about Garen that's interesting about his ability is he actually will start healing over time. So you see here I had some time, I was just sitting, and now I'm going to start healing. Which it says like 2%. Yeah, so I'm going to heal 2% of my health over time. One thing I should point out, ARAM you cannot heal. Like by going back. So typically you'd go back to the town and you can heal. So you'll see here that there's these health things right here. So I'm gonna grab one just to show you. You'll see that heals me. That's typically one of the few ways that you're going to heal. Oh, I was really hoping to get him. He's so close. Man, oh well. So it's expected that you're gonna die. You can't even buy things. Alright. So you'll see like, so also you get to learn how to play with other people. So like there's Thresh. He's a really good support class. He actually has a pull. He gets more powerful over time based on kills and stuff like that. Here we go. Now I'm trying to be a little careful here because my health is really low. And I'm just not really ready to die yet. Since you can't actually spend anything at the shop without dying, typically I try to make sure I stay in the match until it's time for me to go get some loot. And then I might actually push out and go ahead and let myself die, but I try to make sure that I do it in an engagement so that way my team can benefit from it. There we go. I didn't even get the kill for that. Oh. Oh, Lee Sin, man. Nope. So you see I was using the tower there, so like he was going to charge me, I knew he was coming. So I went ahead and got to the tower, so that way the towers, if in a certain proximity, which I think you'll see right here, yep, so as soon as they entered about there, it started actually engaging them. So there is that, you can use the tower to help you, and the towers do pretty good damage. And they got a good poker. Ziggs is a poker. Yep. So that was the case where I felt like, okay, I can go ahead and push out. I have enough money that I need to spend, so I'm going to let them go ahead and kill me. And I'm hoping I should be seeing more kills from my team. That's what I'm hoping for. Actually, let me go back to my Garen's page here. So I did get that. So you see I have like the new block is more like my starting items. So I do something a little different with Garen. Most people say just build him as a tank, but he's actually able to do some decent damage. And with his health regeneration thing, it makes it to where he can be a little less tanky and afford it. Overall, it doesn't look like we're doing too good. So what I did is I got this like cinder thing, so that way it does emulate. So it says anything around me in this area will now take extra damage. Man, I just cannot get this ability off. Nope. Oh, Xerath. Xerath's got his ult. Yeah, okay, yep. Casted his ult out there. So Xerath, this dude right here, he's actually able to go and do his ultimate, and then he starts lobbing like artillery rounds. What's nice about it is it's really hard to pick out if he's like hidden somewhere. It's like in my case, I couldn't actually see it, so he took me out from that. And overall, they actually have a really good team. And that's the only other thing to note is like because they're all randomized. In some cases, the team's really going to be stacked against you. In other cases, the team's really going to be in your favor. It all really depends. But since, like I said, this is more just about like learning, most people don't get too serious about it. So I really want to kill Ziggs. Just let him come on out. So the only thing to note about Garen's healing, if he gets hit by a player, it'll actually knock out his healing. He won't be healing anymore. But, what was that? I don't actually know what that was. There you go. Ugh. I don't think my silence went off in time. Yeah, so we don't really have enough range, sadly. That was well played. So there you'll see I flashed to try to get out of the range. I actually want to let Fiddlesticks take this healing if he would. So I'm going to ping it. So another thing to know to help ping, if you press G and then click somewhere, it'll do that. But if you do G and then click and hold, you'll see you have different options. So I'm just going to say on my way. One thing I could do. There you go. So Ziggs is down. There you go. No, get him. Oh, he healed. Ahaha. So that little beam that Lee Sin tossed out there, if he would have hit me, he would teleport to me. Oh, so there's Xerath. So you saw the red mark all the way around, and you saw the artillery fire coming in. Here we go. I'm going to grab some of the healing. Oh. Ah. Nope. Alright. So someone hit me and put Grievous runes on. So Grievous Wounds, the issue with that ability or thing is that it causes 70% reduced healing. So when that happens, it's rough. So like for example, even my 2% takes 70% reduction, so I'm not even healing like 1%. But once my healing is kicked in, so you'll see there it was kicking. And now I got more here, so I'll take this and go. Because they really do need me. Oh. Oh. Oh, also if you want to do your emotes, you got like T, so you're gonna be like that, like that. Yeah, so you just hold T and it'll come up on a little radial. Oh, that guy is not very smart. Either is that guy. Ah, look at all. Look at all that. Oh man, so much focus there. Oh. Alright, here's where I'm gonna die. Yep. Man. But, again, like I have 3,000, so I need to die. So, here's where we go. One, I'm gonna get Warmogs, because it's kind of cheap for this. And so, Warmogs makes it to where I heal if I reach a certain amount of health. Right now, if I level, I think once I'll have it. Yeah, because it says I need 2750. And I'm at 2730. Which actually I can buy this, and now I have it. So what Warmogs does is Garen already heals if he's got like certain amount of time without taking any damage. Warmogs also has the same ability, but it's a crap ton more. So it's 722 health every 5 seconds on top of the 2% health that he does already from his ability. So here I actually want him to come for me. So I'm trying to get him to actually pick me out. Ah. There we go. Oh. Okay. Wow. That's a lot of damage. Alright, so here we go. So I just want to show how this actually works. So for example, I'm out of that, so I'm starting to gain 2. Now I've got Warmogs kicking, so boom. So now you'll see I'm just regating over and over and over and over. And done. So now I'm at full health. So essentially, I need to keep them coming at, like, I need to keep under tower. I cannot engage them like this. So they're going to beat up on me for sure. And I'm waiting for my team to come. And at the meantime, right, I'm going to go ahead and let my healing come back in. Oh, not gonna get it. Yeah, so the only issue that Garen really has is the engagement. I need to be able to get closer. Ugh, almost. See, that guy's gonna get greedy. Yep. I should have actually used my ignite. I didn't think he was gonna follow up. So that's the other thing you'll get. So like, oh, whoa, 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 no, I'm not gonna go charging into 3. So right there, that was double. Yep. Oh, don't. All right. Nope. Alright, so you'll see now what I'm doing is I'm poking, and I'll even let the tower hit me, because I can actually back off and then let my healing kick in to bring my health back. This is why a lot of people do really enjoy Garen in ARAM. You know, I can even take the hits, that's fine. And then my goal... Ah, I clicked the wrong guy. I wanted to actually burn... Oh no, I did get him. Well, this is not going very good. Yeah, they crowd controlled the crap out of me. Alright, so there's that. Some of them are, but some of them are not. Actually, I'm gonna go with Iceborne. So, Iceborne is also a good piece of equipment to get. It actually makes it to where, once you have it, right, so it actually decreases the speed of people from your ability hits. Look at all that healing on their end. I hope it doesn't think I have a problem under tower. So for example, like this shield thing right there, that means they broke my armor. So I'm taking extra damage than I normally would. Oh, oh, oh. Yep. That artillery strike, oh my god. See, sadly, we just don't have enough damage. Man. Yep. So their team's just, they're well built, man. There's not too much I think our team's going to be able to do. Yeah, you're not. So if you see this, these guys are, yeah, they're all from like the same clan or whatever. So that's part of it. So they're probably most likely communicating to each other. But anyway, that's just an intro to show, like, you know, how this would work. I do recommend that, even on the loss. I mean, it still gets you into identify like what seems to be a good tune, what seems to be working well. Also, like, who to focus on, along with what you can do with your skills and how well it plays out. And like I said, these people are going into it, it's really a quick game, so it's not something where people are going to be like, oh my god, it's just horrible, right? How could you do this? Like, the only thing they had there was the guy was talking a lot of crap from their end, which is not really good sportsman conduct, but hey, that's just this thing. So anyway, again, like I said, I hope this is helpful. If you guys want to see some more discussion points, maybe like a little more specific to heroes, anything that you guys want, like guide-wise towards this game, let me know. Like I said, I'm learning myself, so it's definitely something I can go through and try to do for you. All right, so again, thank you so much for watching King's Court, and I'm going to keep trying to get these videos out. I wanted to do a little more this week, but things have been a little bit hectic with the holidays, so I might only maybe get another one for this week. All right, you guys have safe holidays. Don't party too crazy, and hopefully you'll get great and wonderful gifts.